It's game time. The Kid Gowie. Ravens Nation. All we know is purple and black. And if you're not a Ravens fan, Welcome to Baltimore, Maryland, M&T Bank Stadium, where opponents don't make it out alive unless we bury them. Every team be afraid of them, especially all the quarterbacks, cause our defensive linemen won't hesitate to leave you sacked. Let's take a minute, go back to Super Bowl 35. Domination was an understatement up against the Giants. Numerous touchdowns, they put up numbers, and it didn't take a nutritionist to see they hunger. Only stat Kerry Collins could get was interceptions. He must have thought throwing to the D counted as receptions. The pass was legendary, but don't sleep on the present. Our secondary make quarterbacks avoid that direction. You tryna run the ball, you better hope your blockers work. You can juke, you can spin, but your destination's the turf. This is a man's game, being soft will get you hurt. Watch the defense force a fumble and the fans go berserk. 17 weeks, only one league out of 32 squads. No one's messing with our team. We all bleed black and purple, you can check our IVs. Raven Nation fly high, watch us all spread our wings. Put your game face on, embarrass the competition. You ain't talking about the greatest if the Ravens aren't mentioned. Screw every other team, cause those dudes are whack. In Baltimore, the only thing we know is purple and black. Go! They always win when the championship's on the line. So if you hoping that they failed, then you really wasting your time. Go and ask the 49ers, I'm pretty sure they remember when they made a comeback, but weren't declared the winners. 2 rings down, but you know they won't stop now. If the opposing D's caught slipping, you know exactly how that goes. That's another deep connection for 6 points in the end zone. The stadium goes wacko, as Ravens put in work. Pittsburgh Steelers, that still curtain is looking more like a skirt. So tell me who they say is gonna beat them Bengals? Who used to be the Browns until they relocated? Ravens, they are one of the greatest. There's simply no denying it. To beat them, bringing your A game's a requirement. With the youth of the team, I bet they still be dominating, even after the greatest linebacker's retirement. 17 weeks, only one league out of 32 squads. No one's messing with our team. We all bleed black and purple, you can check our IVs. Raven Nation fly high, watch us all spread our wings. Put your game face on, embarrass the competition. You ain't talking about the greatest if the Ravens aren't mentioned. Screw every other team, cause those dudes are whack. In Baltimore, the only thing we know is purple and black. Go!
Welcome to another edition of SCG Sports here live today with my guy, the one, the only Game Medicine. How are you, bro?
Hey, how's it going, Sonny? Thanks so much for having me on. How's it going with you?
Not bad, not bad. We bringing Game Medicine today. You hear him before here, right, on the phone line. You hear him on Twitter. If you follow him, if you're on Twitter, and obviously in the chat, my guy's always up to date with all injuries. There's the Derrek Wolfe, there's the Williams. So I figure, here my guy said like, hey, I have all the updates. And I said, let's go, let's do it. Let's dedicate the first part of the show to just because as I was saying to him, like, I hear Williams is not practicing a lot because he's a little hurt. And I'm like, shit, not again.
Oh man,
Not again.
oh man, yeah, definitely.
The floor is yours.
Yeah. Speaking of, first off, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Mills RX here, and yeah, about Marcus Williams. John Harbaugh talked a little bit about that when he was at the podium. He's working his way back into getting physically fit, for mini camp, and that's good. There's nothing really serious. It's like maybe some minor soft tissue injury or something like that he's working back from. So he should be fine, but he was only limited to individual drills. He didn't take part in the team drills or stuff like that. So that's just something to monitor. But Coach Harbaugh isn't worried, so I'm not too worried as well. Also, some more big news: Derrek Wolfe has reached an injury settlement with the Baltimore Ravens, so he is no longer with the team. A lot of people were, especially on Twitter, from what I've been reading, and from a lot of the comments, people were thinking, "Oh, is he going to retire?" And he even mentioned, "Hey, I want to live a healthy life because of that." And the reason why is he actually tore the labrum on both of his hips because of something called a hip impingement. I mentioned this a couple of times on my channel. That's when you have excess bone tissue around your either one or both sides of your hip joints, and those cause the bones to rub together. When those bones are rubbed together, they can cause a lot of pain, a lot of inflammation. And he has been dealing with this for a while, as his wife said on his IG post. His wife actually posted something about that, and so yep, that's good for his long term health. With him nothing but the best. But yeah, he won't be with the team anymore, and I think that's why we bought in Brent Urban. We signed Brent Urban earlier, so he could
Yeah.
potentially be a thing. But he has an extensive injury history. Myself,
Yes, sir.
hips up. He tore his ACL 2014, ruptured his bicep in 2015. In 2007, he had a Lisfranc midfoot sprain that caused him to miss a thing, and just last year he ruptured his tricep. So take that what you will.
Look, it's crazy because I like Urban. I liked him when we drafted him. I thought he was good coming out of Virginia, and I was like, dude, you can't stay healthy. Like, different story. Iman Marshall, never been a fan of Iman Marshall. Never liked the dude. Not personally. I don't know him personally, but just the tape that I watched from him from USC, I never felt like Iman Marshall was that guy, right?
Mhm.
And then he's always injured. I'm like, whatever, cut him
Mhm.
because I don't think he makes the team this year. In the different with Urban, I was like, dude, and then you see when he's in the field, he shows potential.
He
He can
does.
stay healthy.
He really does. And actually Jeff Sarup said Iman Marshall is actually practicing with the team today. So
Yeah.
he's working his way back. So he's worked his way back from injury. We've got about 90 players on our roster right now. 81 of them actually did practice today. Of course, some of the major names were there. J.K. Dobbins didn't practice, and Coach Harbaugh said himself early in offseason that they're going to take their time with him, which is good. He's working his way back from that ACL injury. He's been looking good. He's been making steady progression, which and we saw him that he is in the building. He's mainly going to. I expect him to do conditioning and PT to get ready for training camp, to slowly ramp up for training camp. Gus Edwards and Marcus Peters, I don't expect them at any of the practices. If they show up, great, but they're still rehabbing the ACL injuries, so don't look for them. They may come back. So expect them for training camp, where they'll be on the PUP list. Of course, David Ojabo. I don't expect him to be a thing. He's rehabbing from the torn Achilles tendon, just like Tyus Bowser is. He's been with the team. He's been working out and stuff like that, getting rehab and stuff like that. So he's pretty good. Ardarius Washington also wasn't there because remember last season he ruptured a foot fracture that caused him to miss the remainder of the season. So he was not practicing. He's rehabbing that, and a lot of people were asking why Michael Pierce wasn't there. It was a personal matter. That's what Coach Harbaugh said. So there's that. So there's that, and that's pretty much everything. Oh, and I I'm so still concerned about Ronnie Stanley. He has not had any. He's been rehabbing, but he hasn't had any like full contact practice. He has not been with the team. He's been in the facility and getting PT done, having those tests done. So having those tests done, which is good. But he still hasn't even begun conditioning work. We got to begin to ramp him up if he's going to play this
Yeah, I don't
season.
even think
So,
he's doing individual training.
yeah, he's
Individual
not.
drills, sorry.
I said, no, you're right. He's not. He's not even he's like maybe doing. Say, I haven't heard him do conditioning. Didn't even do individual drills today. We did see Juwan James. He's there, but we got to monitor him because when somebody comes back from a major injury like that, especially with an Achilles tendon like that, they tend to overcompensate on the other side, to make up for what may be lost, that explosiveness or that speed. Now that could lead to an injury to the other Achilles tendon and calf strains, and that's why J.K. Dobbins needs to be slowly ramped up as well, because he could suffer muscle strains either in his hamstring, his groin, and the the core will activate a bit more to compensate for that knee, and he have also knee soreness as well. So just we just got to be very. I've been saying this. I please exercise caution. I exercise caution because there was a reason we had the most players on IR
Yeah.
last season.
I don't think Juwan James is in this team when season starts. Stanley worries me. Stanley worries me because he's in the track of Juwan James, right? Juwan James signed that big contract with Denver, played 3 games, and hasn't seen the field since. And that was in 20, I think it was
19,
2019, last
2019,
time
yeah.
he played. So that sucks, obviously. Um, in the case of Ojabo, I saw that video with Odafe in the locker room, and I was surprised because Ojabo literally got his injury like 2 months ago, maybe, and
Mm,
he's standing up firm, right? I don't know if you've seen it. He's
yeah,
just
I have.
showing up his uniform, doing a little dance or whatever, and I was like, this is cool, meaning that I like to see that he's putting weight to the foot. He's not overcompensating, or at least in there, like he wasn't hobbling. And I was like, you know what? That's a good sign. I agree with you. I think if he's back, it will be around week 8. That's my expectations.
Yeah, that was the original timeline that the Ravens medical staff said. They said somewhere between late October, early November. That is the timeline for him pretty much. But I just want to tell the flock, everyone, just a public service announcement. Cam Akers Achilles, his recovery was an aberration. It's an exception. It's not the rule because
Who's Akers?
yeah, Cam Akers, because
Okay.
he came back, and everybody's going like, "Hey," he said, "Hey, if Cam could do it, I could come back." That there was a confluence of things that came together. The surgeon, Doctor Neil L. Astrich, he did Kobe Bryant's Achilles repair too. He's the surgeon for the L.A. Rams. He innovated the open Achilles reconstruction procedure by using what's known as an internal brace. You pretty much put instead of like put think of it of like putting a casket around putting something around your leg when your leg is broken. When you have
Mm-hmm.
a cast on it, think about putting a cast on your Achilles, and that helps actually reduce the time for healing. It helps you be more mobile while you're recovering and stuff like that. And of course, his own off-season work he was relentless that he came back like that. But and the procedure that David had, I'm not sure if he had an internal brace. Probably he did, but still, like I'd say, just like hold on. Said hold on. It's good that he's back. That he's putting weight on his leg and stuff like that. And he's not no ill effects. But I say like I'd say really I would put it to be safe. I'd say mid-November we may see him.
Okay. Bowser looks like he has been recovering nicely. Like you said, I think he participated in OTAs, individual training. Um, I would expect him to be there playing 11 on 11 at the beginning of training camp, but if he's there, all individual drills, sorry, not training, drills, that's a good sign that he might, by the end of the preseason, be in, maybe do some contact training, and with the possibility, if not game one, surely after that to be there starting. So,
Definitely. I believe Tyus Bowser could come back, and definitely be a contributing factor for the defense. We need him. We need him. Definitely. But yeah, once again, I put him around the same time. He needs to, but he's been proactive with the team doing PT, doing rehab, getting the leg back to where it needs to be, and his Achilles looks relatively good. He was healing. He reported as we saw, and from what I'm hearing from my sources in Baltimore, that he's been doing relatively well. So yep, expect to see him. He could be ready for camp.
and that's encouraging, right? Because he got in your last game of the year, and I was like, shit.
Mm.
I was like, this is not good, but I'm encouraged, and I think this Ravens team is probably gonna get Houston back at some point during training camp. So expect that to be the case because we were thin on the pass rushing side. mean, we have Ferguson, we have Odafe,
Away.
and that's it. That's healthy
That's
rushers.
it. Yeah. Wait, wait.
Versus.
Do we have Dalen Hayes or do we have
Oh
Dalen
well,
Hayes?
then,
Or is he come
yeah,
back?
Dylan Hayes is healthy, and then the guy that we drafted, not drafted, the guy that we signed from Miami,
Mm-hmm.
blanking on his name. They're the four, but Houston is better than Hayes. Houston is better than the guy from Miami, and
Yeah, right now, yeah, definitely.
I don't know about he's not better than Odafe, but he's a better pass rusher than Bowser. Bowser's a better overall outside backer, but he's a better pass rusher. Houston is so as a situational pass rusher, I think Houston would be good to bring. Anyway, any last things of injury front or any last comments before we let you go?
Nope. Said nope. Everything else is pretty. Said everything else was pretty normal. Those are just the people who didn't show up today, and like I'm just hoping that we can stay healthy. That there are no major injuries during this one. I just hope everyone can stay healthy. And yep, that's great. And that's great. And once again, thanks so much for having me on, man.
Oh, for sure. I appreciate you coming. Go ahead and follow my guy. He's probably gonna stay in the chat, so it's easy. You find game medicine. You click there. You say, "Let me see that profile." Boom. Subscribe to his channel. Also follow him on Twitter if you're on Twitter, because he's always dropping those knowledge on the medicine side. If you have any questions about like, oh, wonder this injury, how bad, blah blah blah, you know who to hit up. Don't hit me up. 'Cause I had no idea. I just go to a guy like Game Medicine here, right? To Mills RX, and I'm like, you tell me, and then I just take as gospel. So go follow him. A good follow. Thank you for coming. I'll see
Thank you
you
so much for
soon,
having me
bro.
on. All right.
Okay. Again, shout out to my guy Mills RX for the great knowledge. Let's talk here a couple of things. I'll start with this. We rank the tight ends on AFC North Talk, and it was funny. Ravens were number one, right? No, that. But what bothered me, damn, this camera's like there. What bothered me a little bit of our rankings of tight ends was everybody was like, "Oh, Mark Andrews, that's all that matters." And I'm like, wait, no. If I take Mark Andrews away from this team, and to be fair, let's take all the number ones away from their teams, right? So we take Mark Andrews and Joku. Hayden Hirsch, I guess, is from the Bengals. And then we have Pat Farmouth. Ravens have Nick Boyle better than whoever you want to put in the number two. I will say the next number two is between Sample and maybe Bryant, right? The Steelers really had nothing. And then, but even that, then I take my two rookies, and I love Lightly. So I think Lightly will be the next guy. And even if you want to say, okay, let's not take rookie into account, because I do not like taking rookies to account. Like, to be completely fair, because even though I love this rookie, I have been just wrong on rookies before, and on both sides, right? Well, Rafael, I was not a big fan of that draft. He looked great year one. A guy like Kamala Correa, he didn't play good. I liked it at the moment, right? And he didn't turn out to be good. And I've been writing on a couple other guys, right? Big Baby, Marlon, Love Me, Bateman. When we drafted him, Andrews, I was a big fan of Andrews. Hayden Harris, I was not a fan. It was mostly age. It wasn't necessarily production. But anyway, my point is, rookies, you make an assessment, and sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. It's part of, especially me, as just watching some tape, not having a lot of insight, right? So saying that, let me take my rookies out. Oliver was better than any of the number two that they can present me. Any. So I was kind of upset that, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, Mark Andrews doesn't matter who the no. Ravens are deep at tight end. So saying that, what are the AFC North gonna be this week? It's gonna be wide receiver. It's gonna be hilarious. I already Quincy here, my guy Quincy, shout out to Q. He was like naming a Ravens wide receiver. about to become its own Jeopardy category on Twitter. To be fair, I know us, we know all our receiver. But I get that, right? And he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong because you know, other than Bateman that some people might know, most people don't know, about Duvernay, about Prochet, about Wallace, right? And then from there, it's all undrafted rookies, right? And we have people that we have in the practice squad last year, Victor and some others, but most undrafted rookies. So I mean, I retweeted to him and said, like, I mean, take Cooper out from the Browns. I could have named you one. I mean, we had Drew Yarsher, as we call him in the AFC North talk. I mean, he had a couple catches for the whole year. Browns really are not that deep. So the reason I'm bringing the tight ends to this conversation, specifically for Browns fans, and I know a couple Browns fans follow the show, and I appreciate that. I appreciate them, coming to the show. But I'm baffled when they criticize our receiving core and our pass catch, because then in the same breath, it's like, oh, you only have Mark Andrews. And I'm like, okay, interesting take. Because if I put my tight end and my wide receiving core right as a pass catching unit, and then I take the Browns pass catching unit, are we that off? Are we that far apart? Is the Browns that much better? I can argue the Ravens could be better. I can argue the Ravens will be better at the end of the year if you combine the both. Keep them separate. I think at the end of the year, the Ravens receiving core will be better than the Browns receiving core. Because I don't know. I mean, Mari Cooper is a good receiver. I love him coming out of Alabama. But he will have a great game. And then he will have 5 games where you're like, did he play? Was he even in the game? Was he injured? Right? That happened in Oakland, now Vegas, and happened in Dallas, right? He will have games where you're like, damn, this dude is good. And then he will have games where you're like, was he in the game? Oh shit. Oh, he was. I wonder what happened. So Friday show will be wide receiver. Should be a good one. Yeah, Ravens will be ranked 4th. I mean, there's no denying that. I mean, I'm not breaking news here. And what Q said here is correct, because most people don't know the Ravens receiver. We do as fans, and I think our receiving core has potential. I love Bateman. That was the pick I wanted last year, so that good. And Duvernay, he's gonna be in 3 years now. I love that pick. I mean, you can go back in my channel. I was like, pick Duvernay. And it's funny because Harbaugh's celebrating. So it's time for us to use Duvernay a little bit more. And Prochet, I can argue right now that Prochet for me looks like a better pro than Duvernay. He does. Prochet is a tough guy, which is I love. I love the toughness of Prochet. Duvernay is more finesse. And I'm okay with finesse receiver. I mean, Bateman is also more finesse, but there's something about just a tough receiver. Just like, I'm here. That's what pro is. And that's what Tyler Wallace was in college, but we'll see again in pros. We'll see. So it's going to be interesting to see how the season breaks down and how the Ravens break down. By the way, if you want to be in the show, text 443-292-2337. It's 443-292-2337. Let me see quick shout out here. Thomas Morgan, Big Reg, Don C, Death to Beta, Ravens Rasta, Game Medicine. Shout out to him. He was just here in the video. Nemo Crenshaw. Shout out to you. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Ravens 76B more. Shout out to you as well. I think that was a quick roll call. And by the way, for some of you that have been asking, we have 2 more shows on the AFC North Talk, and then we're gonna take a small break. And then we rank the defense. and then we're coming into the season. Okay, Mary, shout out to you. Thank you for joining the live stream. And by the way, if you want to help the channel, just give it a like. If you haven't subscribe, and share the channel for more video. Abuyami, hopefully I didn't mispronounce your name. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining the live stream. Okay. Let's talk about Wolf. Wolf was a guy that I liked that they signed 2 years ago, right? That year, the one and only year that he played for us, he was a beast in that D line because Calais Campbell missed some games, and there was a point that I can't even remember. There was a game that because we have COVID and all this, we had Wolf and a bunch of dudes that they just said outside M&T Bank, yo, you big. You're about 300 pounds. Okay, here's the helmet. Go play D-line. And he was beasting in that D-line. So I was overly excited when we signed Wolf. I was like, good. That was a good signing. It's a good signing. Yes, our D-line is old, but it's a good signing. And I have friends from Denver or, Broncos fan like, dude, this guy he's an injury magnet, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, he beats with us. Last year, I'm rolling with Wolf, and I love his demeanor. He's gritty and all that. Injury bug hit him in Baltimore, and now he is released. The one thing I don't know, and this is the kicker. Will be it will be interesting to find out is there any. Well, first of all, hopefully, because he said, like Kim Medicine pointed out, that he wanted to live a healthy life, right? So hopefully that happens and blah, blah, blah. Hopefully, he can be with his family, rehabbing and healthy life from here out. I think dude should retire, right? 2 hip surgeries in 6 months. I think the dude should be done. The position that he plays is not good for the hips and the hits, right? Like he's in the D-line in the trenches where you are getting hit left and right at any given snap. Okay. Now, that being said, Harbaugh mentioned somebody in the press conference today that is very interesting. It's a guy that I seen him flash from rookie year, and I think we were going to cut him because he had a off-field issue that I can't remember right now. So going to his second year, I thought, but then he played, and I was like, okay, I see you, Washington. I see you. I'm noticing you because I remember when we drafted him, I was like, I don't know about this dude, but you can see progression, and that's what I want. Think about Pierce. You saw flashes from Pierce, but Pierce was way better rookie year. Also, Arthur Jones. I don't know how far you can go, but I mean, Arthur Jones not that far back, right? Flashes of being a good player. By year 3 and 4, he was like beastie, right? That might be Washington. Now, Arthur Jones I think he was a drafted pick. That might be Washington. And if Washington can be that guy, like Washington is more of a nose tackle, I wonder if they kick Jones as a 3-tech because he can play both. Look how our D-line is stacking. Yeah, Calais Campbell. Yeah, I'm going to miss somebody. So if I miss somebody, please put it there in the comment section. Oh, by the way, also, make sure you, if you want help, put a comment when the video is over. So, saying that, you get Calais Campbell, the veteran, the oldest dude in the D-line. He's pretty old. Then you have Pierce, that he's your de facto nose tackle. And I can argue Washington is your backup nose tackle. We don't have Jelly this year, right? So you have Pierce, great D tackle. Then you get Campbell and Marabuke. Great. Right? Then you get Jones and Washington. That's 5 D tackles right there. Hold on. I don't want to feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Hold on. I don't want to forget anybody. Then again, like, oh, what happened with blah, blah, blah. Okay. Where are we here with the D lineman? Yeah, Crawford, Isaiah Mack, Travis Jones, like I said. I think Brent Orban will contribute when he's healthy. When he's healthy. Uh, so Washington, Pierce, Marabuki, Jones, Campbell, and Urban. That is a nice interior D lineman. That is a lot of beef as well. Uh, so I'm excited for this, right? I'm excited. I think what's going to happen is Urban's going to take snaps from Calais Campbell in the rotation. Urban's 31, Campbell's 35. And then you get Travis Jones and Marabike to be like rotating, in my opinion. And then you get Pierce and Washington. Those are your rotation guys. I like it. I think our D line is stacking up to be great. I think I like it a lot. I think how our D line is setting up right now is not only good. It's also setting up with a lot of young guys. Because Urban's here for a year, Campbell's here for 2. Okay, the idea will be Maravike, and then you get Jones to be then the ones more in the rotation, as Campbell, not this year, the following year, his production snaps gets lower. And then Pierce is young. Pierce is 29, but if Pierce maybe in a year or two he's not there and Washington can be that guy, then you get Washington to be your nose tackle going forward. So Ellie Sports says, only thing I'm concerned about is linebacker. Honestly, we'll address that right now. Johnny, Lillian, shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining the live stream. So game medicine, his comment here. Crawford, McKenzie, Mack, and Nichols are the rotational D tackles. Those guys ain't making the team. Maybe one of those guys is making the team. You might have 7 interior D line. Maybe 2. If a couple of these other guys are nicked, maybe 2 of those guys. But for the most part, they're gonna carry, I think, 6, maybe 7, because there's other position they're gonna go heavy on. Those guys will make a practice squad, but not that. So with a linebacker, as Eli Sport here says, only thing I'm concerned about is linebackers, honestly. So I'm not sure if it is middle linebacker or outside backer. Let me address middle linebacker, and let me pull the ones that we currently have, because again, I don't want to miss anybody. You got Bynes, Harrison, PQ, Christian Welch. Did we lose? Okay. Oh, and Diego. I don't know how you pronounce his name without getting banned on Twitter. But the Navy dude, okay? The Navy dude. Rookie. Diego / Navy dude. He might make it as a special team. Josh Bynes, Harrison, and PQ are your 3 middle linebackers. And that's it. The other ones would be Welsh, Diego will be special teams, okay? What you have to understand here, Eli, is I can see them going 1 linebacker for the starting lineup. That's it. They might put 2 in a heavy run production, right? Running downs. They might put the 2 linebacker, but for the most part, they're gonna go 1. They might use Chuck Clark more in the box. They might use Hamilton more in the box. Maybe sometimes Williams, but they're gonna go 3 safeties for most of the game. I'm pretty sure, unless they're playing. I mean, this goes game by game, but like we play Titans, yeah, you are gonna put their PQ, and then you're gonna rotate Malik Harrison, Bynes, and then you might see Diego or Welch. Probably not, but most most of the time by Harrison, right? More downhill backs. But if it is not a run heavy team, you might see PQ as your only middle linebacker for most of the game. So yeah, but that's a good question though. I see a lot laughing. Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce Fago. Is that how you pronounce his last name? I mean I'm legit not sure. Fago. Definitely not getting the Navy dude jersey. my phone is dying. Oh no, Dancy. It's okay, bro. I appreciate you. If it dies, I appreciate you. It's okay to laugh. I still laugh when I read articles about the planet Uranus. Okay. Uh, yeah. No, Chuck Clark ain't going nowhere. So if they were gonna trade Chuck Clark, because after the draft, I said like, this Chuck Clark might be in danger. But if they were gonna trade Chuck Clark, that would have been yesterday, right? That would have been already happened. I think at this point, they're looking at the division, and the Steelers might be a more running team. But think about this: you have the D line to absorb the linemen to prevent a good running attack, right? So with that D line, and then think about this: Marcus Williams, good tackler. Hamilton, he was in college again, rookie. We'll see how he translates to the NFL. But Chuck Clark, a good tackler. Then you get oh my God, Marlon Humphrey on from the defensive back, good tackler. Fuller, good tackler. Marcus Peters, so tackler. PQ, good tackler. So if you go heavy D backs, a heavy safety, that backside looks to be for the most part good tacklers. Front should be able to suck the O line, not preventing the O line from not getting to that second level, which at that moment allows the secondary to attack for a clean tackle. But yeah. So work phone. There you go, man. That's good. Let's trade Chuck Clark for Scary Terry. Well, that won't happen. Washington will not do that. Clark is in last year the deal. The only way Clark gets traded is somebody desperately needs a safety, and you trade for him. For when we drafted Hamilton, I thought maybe New York. Wink is there, right? Again, if it hasn't happened right now, it won't happen. Not for Tooney, because people are too high on Tooney in this in the flock. But yeah, I want to know why ain't Michael Pierce in camp today? Michael Pierce, I think Harbaugh said it was a personal issue. That's about it. Big Rich, by the way, if Washington doesn't want Scary Terry, I'll take him in Baltimore. Way better than Hollywood Brown, in my opinion. Scary Terry is. The last part that I wanted to talk about before I go is this Lamar contract situation. And the AFC North talk is a meme. It is a meme, and you know what? I let it go because there's nothing I can say really. I mean, last year I think TJ Watt was the meme. But the national media annoys me with the whole Lamar Jackson, blah, blah, blah. And the reason why it annoys me is I feel like they don't talk about Kyler Murray as much as Lamar Jackson. When Kyler Murray was legit holding out, and he said it was because of the contract, he took all the social media aspect from Arizona out of his account. He put up a letter, and you barely hear anything about him. But we'll talk about Lamar. Why? Lamar has said that he wants to be a Raven. There's an interview with Rich Ice, however you pronounce his last name, and Calais Campbell, where Calais Campbell said like Lamar feels like he doesn't deserve the contract, whatever the amount is, and he wants to go show that he can do it. Now, what that tells me is maybe the Ravens are at 42, 43, and Lamar wants 50. I don't know. But it almost sounded like, well, there's no contract because of this. Because in the same interview, Calais Campbell says he's a Raven for life, right? He's a Raven for life. So I'm tired every time I see, and because some of y'all say me, oh, look what Shannon Sharp is saying, look what Skip Bayless is saying, and other buffoons. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's not that deep. Like, would I want Lamar to be signed? Yes. To be honest, I wanted Lamar to be signed last year. At this point, what it sounds like is Lamar is betting almost like a Flacco move. But I feel like Lamar has way closer. The Ravens are probably offering way closer to what Lamar value is than what Flacco, because back then Flacco hasn't proven anything. No Pro Bowls. He was good, but not great. And then he goes to a Super Bowl, becomes the highest paid quarterback, right? Lamar is accomplished, Pro Bowls, MVPs, blah, blah, blah. So definitely more accomplished. So he's probably closer. Why is Lamar staying? But the reason why it annoys me is because Lamar versus Kyler Murray made it an issue, right? Kyler Murray was like, I'm looking to the agent came out, I'm looking to get paid. Oh, you don't want to pay me now? Which, if I was Arizona, I would have paid him. And you don't want to pay me? I'm gonna take all my stuff out of social media. I'm not like no association of the Cardinals with me. I'm not gonna be in OT specifically because I don't have any contract. I'll be in training camp because I don't want to get fined. But yeah, don't expect me to be happy. That has been Kyler Murray. Lamar has never said none of that. Lamar's like, oh man, I love the Ravens. I love the organization. I'm a Raven for life. And everything great. I don't get the drama. Again, specific, because AFC North talk is a meme. I get it. And I get it from Steelers, Bengals, and Browns podcasters to make it an issue. I get it. That's your arch nemesis. You, any little crack, you're going to point at them. Like, look what's happening with you. Got it. Noted. Fair. I think it's fair. Right? But to the national media, I know it's the offseason, but there's nothing else you can talk about. Right? And then second, why not talk about Kyler Murray? Because Kyler Murray's whole news. To be fair with Kyler Murray, he you know there's a beef. You know he put all this stuff out there. He doesn't post about anything. Lamar Jackson has a personality, right? He's out there. He's practicing. He's posting his stuff. So that's all I have to say about that. So here says, Nemo says, Sue or JPP to Baltimore to take Wolf's spot. Well, JPP does not play the same position as Wolf. And Sue, I don't think he does either. Like, Sue is a good 2-4 D tackle. Wolf was a 3-5 DN, so he can play a 3 tech. Sue plays more near the center, inside of the guard. I don't know. Sue might be more interesting than JPP for sure. JPP is more if our outside backers are very hurt and the like guys like Hayes are not ready. That's the JPP move. Eli says they hate Lamar. Thomas Morgan says people thought I was nuts when I said offer Lamar 7 years, 280 fully guarantee, and here we are. 7 years, 280 won't cut it. I don't think it will cut it, right? It's more than that. Now, the fully guarantee might allow it to happen, but I don't know. Man, the whole fully guarantee stuff scares me with any player, not only Lamar, any player. JPP ain't coming to Baltimore. I agree. No, I don't know if I agree. We'll see. I think they did the due diligence, and now they're waiting to see. Now when training camp happens and when mandatory happens, right? That's when they're gonna be like, wait, Odafe is good. Ojawa's how far? from coming back? Okay. If I bring Houston, Bowser is gonna be ready to play, but how effective he is, ooh, okay. And again, the dude from Miami, we'll see what it's like. I might need JPP, or they might see the guys and like, Hayes is showing up. Okay, Olaf is good. Bowser, he's only gonna get better. And then Ojawa's coming back. The guy from Miami might be showing. Okay, let's just roll without JPP. Wait, are Ravens the only team with purple as a uniform color? Am I confident? No. Vikings are the other team, and I think that's where it ends. I don't think there's any more purple. And here, you see, this is what you need to follow game medicine. JPP is recovered for a torn rotator cuff. That player that played through last year. And by the way, they might have just brought him in to see how that rotator cuff is. They won't cut. Yeah, I agree. After the Watson deal, that was ridiculous money. They wait to see what to do with Houston. Yeah, they not franchise tag. They did an exclusive tender with Houston, and that is the exclusive tender is something new with bets, which I think we have to investigate this a little bit more. I think, man, I'm trying to think, is that if nobody has offered, so they had the first review, somebody offers him a deal, they can match. But if nobody has offered him a deal by, I don't know, let's say July something, the Ravens offer him the same deal that he had last year plus like a 10% increase. It's something like that. It's something to those lines. I need to research. If somebody in the chat knows it, please put it there. But I think it's something like that. Sunny, do we have the secondary to beat the Bengals now? I think we have the pieces. We'll see how we play, right? The secondary they need to play as a unit. We have the pieces. But also saying that what I would have liked to see to play the Bengals a better pass rush. I thought the secondary was good enough, better pass rush. We have secondary last year, if we were to stay healthy, fair. We have a squad now in the secondary. We have a squad now in that secondary is strong. Yeah, I think we have all the pieces. And yeah, Eli. So I think that's where we are. Like, let me see if I can really quick find this out. Exclusive tag for bet. Because that's something new. I never heard that until this year. So it's not a franchise tag. It's NFL free agent period. The NFL collective bargaining agreement. No, that's not what I want. Okay. When the league begins, now. So free agent designation, restricted free agent, a player restricted. Yeah, but this is all for rookies. Right of first refusal tender, 1 year worth 2.433. Team has a right to match any offer sheet signed with another team, but there is no draft compensation tied to this tender. I think that's what they did. Right of first refusal tender. I think. Man. Exclusive right free agents, any free agent with fewer than 3. No, that's not him. I need to get back to you, Eli. If you want, DM me. I'll get back to you. Best secondary in the league. Again, potential, Nemo, because Hamilton's a rookie, Peters coming from injury, Fuller coming from a down year, right? And also Humphrey coming from a down year. The player, let me say this. I like the both of the rookies, right? I like Armo Davis and I like Bebe. But the player that people don't talk enough about, enough, and I love this dude, Stevens. Stevens played really good last year. Really, really good last year. People don't talk enough about him. I want to see what they do with him. Sonny, you think we have enough wide receivers in the room? I would like to see two. If we could get two players, and I don't think we can get them this year. I'm hoping one of the rookies becomes a 50-50 guy. All these guys are giants. All these undrafted rookies. Can they become the 50-50 guy that Miles Boykins never was? And who is my stretch guy? Right? That's we. I don't think we have that. We'll see if Duvernay can do it, but I don't think we have that. So maybe that is an open question at this moment. Game Medicine said our restricted free agent tender means that if Houston doesn't sign Theo by July 22nd, we can offer a similar contract like he had last year, maybe a bit more. Yeah, it was something like I think it was like a 10% more, but I don't think we can offer. I think is a contract is into the effect. I think it's almost like there's a contract there. So if he doesn't have a contract by July 22nd, that sounds about right. Then it's almost automatic that there's a contract there with X amount of percent more, which it wasn't much from last year's contract, and he's a Raven. It's something like that. Marcus Williams definitely helps the true free safety, yes, but again, because I said this to the Browns last year with Johnson, free agent, I think he's, especially Williams, I think he's going to be great. But it's going to take him a minute to acclimate to this Ravens defense. That combo, him and Kyle Hamilton can have the back end on Smash. Okay, so guys, appreciate everybody joining the live stream. It was a good one. I'm hoping to come back next week. Yeah. The AFC North Friday, we're coming with the wide receiver ranking, so that's going to be a good one. So please make sure you subscribe to both channels, this and the AFC North. Hit a like. That helps with the algorithm. And also put a comment in the comment section, okay? So thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit that bell. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.